Hello, pirates and sketchy people of the world. This week, we are doing Black Lagoon, one of my personal favorite anime experiences out there. One of my favorite experiences in all I want to say fiction, because it's just a very gritty story, and I'm always on that vibe of let's tell people why anime isn't just for children, and this is a great example. So, how are you all doing today?
We're here on Content Breaker with of course, Kai himself, Static Dread, strangely entertaining Before Zog, and Kaiju Kelz. We are very excited to be talking about Black Lagoon, gentlemen. Other than that, how do you exist?
Excited? Yeah, my bad. I got too excited and just botched the intro. But how are y'all doing?
How do we exist, boys?
In an infinite space of time.
I'm existing fine. Also, Static Dreads. You can't fix her.
What?
You can't fix her.
I can do my best.
You cannot fix her.
Yeah, she's fine. She's fine. She doesn't need to be fixed. I don't know who you're talking about.
She don't need to
Roberta.
I just
they're all
Roberta,
fine.
Roberta, my guy.
They're all fine except
Can't fix her either.
Roberta is not fine. Ida is probably the most fine. Then Balalaka. Then Ravi. Then Roberta. Yeah, Ida is unproblematic. Besides, she's a nun that murders people. But other than that, completely unproblematic in the grand scheme of things. Yes.
Not to me.
You can't fix her. Stop it.
Okay.
You can't fix any of these people.
She doesn't need to be fixed. That's the whole point of this plot.
Yes, that is the whole point, which we will get into. Yeah. So basically, this is Black Lagoon. It is an anime that ran 2006, which is, I feel kind of an age, a wonder age for that 2000 just beauty period of animes that came out around then. We had these dark Toonami premiering animes, and this is where I discovered it, of course, was Toonami back then. I believe Zog, you say you watched it on Toonami as well, I think.
I never said I watched it on Toonami.
Well, you watched it before the podcast because you have the Blu-ray.
I did watch it years ago, yes.
Yes, so.
I watched it around the time the second season came out.
Okay, so 2010. Yeah. So, yeah, it was a grind. It was 4 years. Weeb. Yeah,
the second season came out in 2006 too. But
yeah, well, okay. Roberta's Blood Trail came out in 2010. One of them came out 4 years later.
Yeah.
So, and Kelz and Strange, you guys are seeing this for the first time for the podcast, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. So, but yeah, just getting into it. So Black Lagoon is the story of this Japanese businessman named Okamaji Roku, who is basically kind of forfeited by his company, because they're a sleazy company and they're doing illegal dealings and everything, and they send him to go and do a deal. But he kind of gets wrapped into this world of piracy and was kind of foreign underground world. They kind of just leave him there as a hostage because they see him as expendable, and he adopts this new persona called Rock, as he's newly dubbed by the Black Lagoon Company, who captures him, and he goes and does all these escapades on the pirate ship that is the Black Lagoon, and we see his transformity mixed with the characters of the Black Lagoon Company, and that's really as watered down as spoiler free as we can get it, because it goes into a whole cornucopia of just outlandish greatness from here. So be forewarned, if you do not want spoilers, go and watch this and then come back and listen, or listen to it anyway and then go and watch it, because we will not do it justice by just talking about it. You gotta witness Black Lagoon and all of its greatness.
It is something to experience.
Yeah. So right off the bat, just when you guys were going into this, Static, or no, I'm Static, Jesus. When you guys were going into this, Kelz and Strange, what was your just based off the imagery and art, what was your kind of assumption
Uh, I didn't really know what to make of it, to be honest. I was like, looks like I know kind of like I knew Revi could like kill something with, if she has a gun and a bullet, pretty much kill anything at that point. But I didn't really know what the overall like thing was, like the story or anything. All I know is like it does look like that crisp 2000s style anime, that the style I kind of miss, honestly.
It's fair. It's fair. I do like miss this kind of like rugged style for sure. Like Venture Brothers type animation vibe feel.
Venture Brothers?
Define.
I was
But like, I mean, like,
We're not.
it's just like, it wasn't so like clean, I guess, because like anime nowadays is just like too clean. I feel like some points, like Jujutsu Kaisen, don't get me wrong, it's great, but it just looks like way too polished. And I like kind of like the ruggedness of the lines and stuff of the like 06s of like the early mid 2000s. And we kind of get like the Venture Brothers, Adult Swim animation type vibes we had going on.
So it fits well with the style.
The tone. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I can
Like
see
the
it.
grittiness of it. Yeah.
Going into this for the first time, I really only had what hype you had to say going in, that Revi was the best girl. I knew it was about something with a girl with two handguns, and that can only lead so many directions.
Yeah.
But winding up finding out about the depth of the plot and the variety and kind of how intense it is, and not having a protagonist that just like, it's not like an isekai, which I love. Like, Rock is not a fucking hero.
Yeah, he's
Like,
definitely not.
And I love that kind of vibe, that Rock is kind of teetering on the edge of his own peril and dealing with his lot in life, but is still true to like his principles. And in the same way that Revi is growing to like have a relationship with another person that's not only a murderer.
Yeah, no,
For better
sure.
or worse.
Yeah, it was
For
a
sure.
little rough there, though, to start off. And I was like, oh, I really wasn't expecting a deep philosophical trip every 3 episodes, but I guess here we are.
No, I mean that's what it is. Like it's more so, that's what makes Black Lagoon so good for me. It's like it's the hardcore kick-ass action, but also like the depth and introspectiveness of like, what is right, what is wrong. Like, does a person inherently start off bad? Like, what is a descent? And we see a lot of like the themes through Black Lagoon is that characters aren't, cohesively black and white. There are a lot of gray areas, like a lot of good like characters go bad, and a lot of bad characters are just bad for the sake of bad circumstances,
Or they're getting paid for it.
Yeah, I mean, just money is God, that whole speech by Revi. Things are just things when you're out here taking stuff off bodies and whatnot. So it's like a whole thing. And it's always good when you get like fuck Nazis in your anime. So
I honestly was not expecting
Shout out
that at
Hellsing
all.
Ultimate.
Shout out Madhouse, man. That's
Just
one of the
badass
things.
in general.
That's one of the things I love about this show, is the fact that this is 2006 Madhouse doing what the fuck 2006 Madhouse does.
yeah. Like,
It's like, hey,
saying, "Screw
Madhouse,
Nazis."
we got this story. We want you to animate it. Does it involve killing Nazis? Yeah? How'd you know that? We'll do it.
Get your kid to the right
do
place.
it.
I mean, 100%, yeah. And so I know there's like, and then we got to go into the age-old question of dub versus sub. I watched both of them, like, because like I said, I love this anime with my whole heart. So I've seen the dub and I've seen the sub. I'm partial to the dub because that's what I've seen first, but I also really enjoy the sub as well. But I feel like kind of the campy, preachy like speeches we get from like Revy and like Rock, I feel like that kind of hits more dub for me, especially in the back of the police car scene and like how, money is my god and all that. But they were also really dope as well in the Japanese, but I thought it was interesting because some liberties were taken with the dub. And like really, I feel like the pinnacle of dub anime was like that late '90s or like 2000 era. Like I feel like that's when dub was like on top, or at least for me. Like I don't know, it was like
Well,
the tsunami dubs just hit.
I think that we finally reached an era where no longer were we in the West cutting up and hacking apart a show for the Western market. 2006. We still have the kind of 4Kids doing what the fuck 4Kids does, but with stuff like this, and stuff like Toonami and Adult Swim with their presentation, even to get crazy with it, even sci-fi with manga, animation, bringing stuff to the West, we're no longer hacking up the story for a Western audience. We're now doubling the story that is there because there is value there to begin with. And we're seeing that value being respected in the dubs, and we have such voice talent in this time as well that it's really the start of seeing where this goes from here.
No, like 100%. Definitely agree that is something that I really appreciate from this. It's just like you said, like this is kind of one of those points where it's like a jumping off of like talent, and I get that like Lupin the third vibe in terms of like just the stylistic, like every voice. I feel like both dub and sub. I feel like every voice in here just fits. I love Dutch's voice. I love Revy's voice. I love Rock's voice. Benny's, Roberta's, Balalika's. Just everybody's, it's like a whole clean cast, and just like the inflection and everything. So like, everybody's very passionate about the project that they're entering on this. So like shout out to like the production team at Madhouse that made sure everybody was kind of on the same page for this. So,
Yes.
but yeah. So, but like you said, like the themes of Black Lagoon, I feel like are something that are like overlooked a lot, at least in my personal opinion. People are just like, yo, badass girls being badass killing people, which I mean is 100% like accurate, But I feel like they're more than just, badass girls killing people, which
Yes. And having the and more part of that is really what makes Black Lagoon stand out to other shows. Like, I love Girls and Panzers, but Girls and Panzers is just fucking cute schoolgirls and tanks. Like, there's no meat to the story other than that. But like this has whole character drama and interaction and story arcs and growth and drama and peril and risk and excitement. It's everything.
Yeah. No, 100%. And I know you had talked about it earlier, like just kind of Rock's character arc and ascension. I really like the theme of like kind of being your own Robin Hood, like because that is like something like Rock basically starts to realize throughout the missions and everything they're doing that Revy is just like the bitches that sold him basically into this slavery, like that he's in, like the life that like abandoned him. It's like, Revy, you're like the same. And then it comes on the speech of like, well, there's no Robin Hoods. There are no people who like go back and give back and do that. And The Rock is like, yo, if you want like those type of people, just go and be those type of people. But then that is immediately challenged by, his ideas of what it actually takes to do that. And I felt like that's like kind of like my jam, is that how easy it is to say something, but like how to manifest that, like how difficult that is. Like something as simple as like, I'm just taking something, I just got to give it to somebody else. But all those like, nuances that come in the like, procurement of this lifestyle.
really see that arc challenged. You know, we see him be this whole, you know, be your own Robin Hood, but we like the entire second core, because I guess we're weebs now. The entire second 12 episodes where we have this kind of, we're in Japan, and the Russians are fighting the Yakuza, and Rock is stuck as this translator and wants to do something, but is challenged in the scene in the bowling alley. We're gonna get into deep spoilers here, where he's with the girl that he saved, and the girl's like, "You don't want to fucking save me. You don't want to do anything. You just want to sit here and stand in the twilight, stand in the in-between of the worlds, and just feel like a hero. But you don't want to do what it takes to get the job across the finish line. You might have saved my life in the short term, but you haven't saved my life in the long term like you fucking say you want to."
Mm-hmm.
And for him to be challenged with that, like, that's the second arc of his whole thing of you know, non-violent interaction with this universe. But in the same way, his inaction causes problems.
No, agreed. So, that's definitely like something that I felt like is very not seen a lot in terms of like these types of like anime where you just go and like shoot them up, you know, like seeing like it's the challenge. Like Black Lagoon, honestly, is just so rare to me because it deals with like that grittiness, and the violence is just so like I feel like appropriate for it, like the grit and like the tone. Like it doesn't baby you when it gives you these lessons and themes. It like kind of hits you. And another one is like we see that, you know, with especially Balalaka and Revi, that they didn't start off this way. You know, that they were like Balalaka was an aspiring Olympian, you know, who wanted to like just kind of take care of her family, but Soviet Russia gonna be Soviet Russia, so she had to go Soviet Russia, and then basically
She had a Black Widow.
yeah, we're gonna abandon you, and that kind of made her the way she is, like to protect her comrades and whatnot. And
Well,
then
no-
Revi,
Yeah, her whole arc, Balalaika's whole arc was, I'm gonna go be a fucking war hero, which comes with all manner of problems associated with it, because you gotta do some crazy fucking shit.
mm-hmm.
For them to get done, and their entire country is just dissolved, and that's what turns them into the fucking Russian mafia? Like,
Yeah, Hotel. Oh my God, what is it?
Moscow.
Hotel Moscow. Yeah.
Like, whoa.
Yeah, so like that's crazy. And then Revi saying that there was like, you know, no love and no charity for her, like growing up in like the streets and kind of what she had been through, because like, you know, there was no one there for her, so she had to like survive. And it was just really interesting to see like how like these characters were like kind of set up, and how they are badass women that fight and do all this, but they are also like, you know, wearing a mask to like kind of perform and protect themselves, and which is like done really well, because you know a lot of anime you just see like the badasses being badass for like the stake of that. Like I mean, when you go and look at shows like fucking Gangster or Monster and stuff, or Helsinki Bridge, it's like, yeah, sorry, not Helsinki Bridge, just Helsinki awesome. Just Helsinki awesome.
Basically the same thing
Excuse
at
me?
this point.
Yeah, I'm tired. I'm sorry, but like, you know, just, and even like Akudama Drive more recently, like it's just like these people are just who they are because it's like who they are. You know, there's not really that many like layers to them. Like, I mean, there is, but like, because I know me and you, Kelz, we watched Akudama Drive, and it was never really like, oh, this is why Bruiser's Bruiser, or this is why Delinquent's this. It's kind of just like, this is who they are. But in terms of like Black Lagoon, it's like, you know, these are like masks and things to kind of like protect them, and like to be that like gritty, dark person.
I mean, we get enough introduction to kind of the perils of this lifestyle and this upbringing from the characters we are supposed to care about, that same kind of theme of empathy carries over to the broader cast.
Mm-hmm.
In the crew, we're supposed to not think are just fucking villains, right? Everyone's a bad guy in this show. But, like,
Pretty much.
the people we aren't supposed to think are intrinsically evil, that same theme of, I came from the dirt, I'm here in this position doing what I'm doing now because it's the only way I've had to survive. And we get that kind of insight from Revy, where it's like, if you have a fucking problem, if you have sympathy for this shit, I will murder you.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's not what I need. I don't need you to feel bad, because then I can't work with you.
Yes. Which I love.
And that applies to the broader spectrum of the city, you know.
Yeah. To the city. But so were there any themes that like you saw Zog or Strange that like you thought were like interesting that were represented in this?
Honestly, I think you basically touched on everything that they already had there. But the one thing I do really like that that you haven't really touched on yet is when was it in this version or the other one? When it's at the point where Rock is supposed to be the translator between these two factions, and he's
Yeah.
His own faction's got him over the hood of a car, gun in his face, saying, why the hell should I do this for you? What do you get out of this? It's my hobby. It's like, okay, we finally found a justification for this bullshit. Alright, cool.
Yeah, so season 2, core 2, the last 12 episodes, when they're in Japan going on this whole adventure, somehow Rock gets feelings and emotions and wants Balalaika to not murder the girl he's had coffee with like once and saw on the street passing. And he's like, you don't have to do this, Balalaika. You could just like stop and not murder her. And she's like, Rock, you're my motherfucking Rock, you're my motherfucking translator. Like, I tell you what the fuck you get to say. Like, that's it. That's your only job here. And then he goes on again and he gets to put like fucking like judo tossed on the motherfucking hood.
Mm-hmm.
And she's telling him how to like plead for his life. And he's like, some people have a hobby of wanting to die in the fucking gutter. Well, my hobby is trying to be a fucking, justice hound. And then she laughs, and then it's game over. It's just fucking over. It was a fun scene.
It's a real fun scene, but it's also like the closest you see him finding common ground with these like quote unquote monsters of people that he's found himself surrounded by. It's just like finally there's some understanding between them, and she just goes, "You're as fucked up as I am." Okay.
And then later on, that interaction in the other Yakuza's home, where he's like, I want you to destroy the other Yakuza group with the girl as the leader so badly that she has no other choice but to go into a life of not this. And Balalaika's like, oh shit, that's truly evil. You're gonna be like great villain.
And just starts capping people. I love that scene. Like there, like Balalaika waits zero time. Just starts fucking like shooting him. Like it's.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest.
That's great.
With how much this show dwells within this melancholic view of things and everything, it gets boring after a little while. It becomes a bit of a grind. But when you get moments like that, where it truly just like embraces all the bullshit wholeheartedly of the situation and still tries to make it work within the character's boundaries who are involved with it, it's some good shit.
Yeah. No, facts. Um, yeah, I really like how that, like, you know, tonal change can happen, like from just comedy to dark to grid. Like one of my favorite tonal changes are like when, like, again, I bring up the scene a lot, is like when Rock and Revy are just kind of arguing in the pavilion, and like they just have like Revy just kind of loses it and starts shooting. And they're like, okay, well, time to call the big guns, and the police and everybody show up and put them in the back of like the cop car, and it's just like they have that discussion. I really like that, and then I like how, you know, the scene.
Well, for me, that whole scene of
Yeah.
Not only the cop car conversation resolution with they suck on the same cigarette,
Yeah,
essentially,
the only
but
kiss
like
we see.
them going at it in the fucking market, like at
Yeah.
the restaurant patio, and that whole entire conversation where Revy is fighting her own comprehension of the situation and her own need to push it away. And Rock is finally standing up and owning his shit.
Yeah,
And
finally.
owning his decisions. Yeah.
Fucking finally. And then also, you know, we get the scene where like they got the pirates coming out on them like in the first few episodes, and we kind of get to see like Revy like her first badass moment, I guess, where she goes and takes out all the pirate ships from like jumping from each ship to ship, and then like capping them while listening to a cassette player. That was a vibe, you know. And that's like Rock is like explaining everything to Dutch while it's happening. He's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, she's like a monster, you know. And she's like, stop talking and complaining for like 10 minutes so I can focus on the job. And it's kind of wild to see just like that amount of like violence that's portrayed, because I feel like the violence like really helps like the series. But getting into like the characters, like, because we got such a colorful cast, like literally, like we got a very multiracial cast, which I really like fuck with a lot. We got the Soviets, the Americans, the Japanese, you know. And it's funny because, you know, the whole like kind of joke with Bella is that she's always coming in second to Americans. Like, and then she's like watching the Olympics and she's like, of course, the fucking, you know, an American one. But just kind of like starting it. Like, y'all have like a favorite character you want to dive into? You just want to like hit up from the top? Like, what's up?
Well, I can tell you I loved everybody in the cast. Like, I didn't expect to laugh so much watching this show. It's just like there's like some kind of quip or just something funny happens like almost
Just
every
let
couple
the dark
minutes.
humor wash over you. Embrace it. We're all
No,
fucked up.
See, the thing about me is I actually like dark humor. It's very funny to me. I don't know why. Maybe I'm messed up or something. But
You are.
You're
I know.
repressed.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah.
Sorry, repression.
But you know what? I'm such a rock. Literally watching this show, it was almost like a self-insert. I'm like, I'm such a rock, man. I would be there.
You are.
I would be like, nah, I don't want to hold a gun. I'm good. And be like, I don't know what to do. What did you mean?
Yeah, I mean, you totally are rock.
I would be like, yo, you ever feel sad for these Nazis that died? I mean, I probably wouldn't say that exactly,
Pop,
but like,
nope.
yeah,
Nobody felt sorry for these Nazis.
I did.
The moment you
Not
have the
even
word
Rock.
Nazi in there, all sympathy goes out the window.
Well, Rock was more or less just
Like
like
the Nazis.
he's just like, yo, it's kind of sad. Or do you ever feel sad? That's what just Revy's like. No, of course I'm not sad. Stupid Nazi.
Oh,
Yeah.
the Nazis.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a fine line between the Nazis from the story where we're supposed to feel sympathetic about the one dude who was like had a family and was like, fuck the I love the fatherland, fuck Hitler.
Yeah.
And then like the new Nazis that were causing fucking problems.
Yeah.
Seeing the new Nazis get axed was so fucking
No, that was
therapeutic.
great.
I love that shit. Like, even in the rewatch, I'm just like, yes, man. Like, something about like killing Nazis. It just feels so good.
But
My
like
boy, Benny.
Benny's great.
Man, you were Benny Kelz, like a kid, like a grad from UCF. That's what blew my mind. Like the first time, like I watched this, I was like, "Wait, he's from University of Central Florida." Like
Yeah,
that's
this man's from Florida and fucking Lord knows where doing computer shit on a torpedo boat. I'm
because
like,
he pissed off the mafia and the FBI at the same time with his
how
like.
can I fuck
actions.
my life
That's
up
some goals.
this hard, man?
Yeah, man. Like,
Guy, you
but
want to
yeah.
go like to Thailand and be
Oh
pirates?
no.
Yes, low key, yes.
No.
Like high key, yes. Honestly, but like, yes. Let's just do that. I think that's the absolute vibe that we need.
I love Benny's character overall,
hmm
but as we were mentioning previously, his probably best line was, "I'm Jewish.
Yeah.
Fuck Nazis" is a family motto.
Yeah. Family
Bruh,
creed.
that was iconic. That was iconic.
It's a whole ass vibe.
Dutch
That
was
whole-
like,
that
so
whole
how
scene.
you feel about Nazis? He's like,
Yeah, Dutch is
Nah.
like, as a white man, how do you feel about it? And we just go down that route.
That's the other thing. It's like let the stereotypes I mean, it's like you got characters being who they are. There's no like dancing around, and that's why like the grit of Black Lagoon. You don't have to be like PC about things. You can just like be you. It's like we're dealing with the black man, we're dealing with the Jewish guy, we're dealing with the Japanese businessman. I think
When-
Revi's like Hispanic. You know, just
Revy,
No,
no,
Revy
is
she's
badass.
American
Rev-
Chinese.
Chinese American.
Yeah.
yes, Chinese American. Yeah,
Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
She was born in New York.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
for some reason, my mind is like Harlem. She's
Come on.
Hispanic, but
This,
I'm just
this is your
like,
waifu. What you mean? You gotta be on top of this.
yes,
information.
yes. You're
I'm just
right.
kidding.
You're right. You're right.
It
I don't see
blew my
color, I just
mind.
see hot. I'm just kidding.
It blew my mind though, and I'm like, this would not go over well. Like in today's age, when I can't remember her name, I can only remember her nickname. Revy gave her Chinglish. She's
Oh
like,
my god.
I'm
How
Taiwanese.
disrespectful.
I was like,
Oh, because you're watching
It
the
was
fucking dub.
absolutely
Lord.
fucking perfect, and I loved it.
Are you talking about Shinhua? Shinhua?
I can't remember
Yeah.
her name, but like,
Yeah, Shinhua.
Revy
Yeah.
calls her Chinglish. I'm like, yo,
Yes, the Taiwanese assassin from Mr. Chain who just
This shit like, I'm Taiwanese. I'm pure Taiwanese.
Basically
My
seeing
English
two
go
of these
good.
girls fighting for their lives. Primo episodes.
man. This whole so back to the characters. Yeah, so we've got Benny being your favorite character. You would say Kelz, and then Rock is yours. You're saying Strange.
Yeah.
Who do you have? Zog is your favorite character.
Whatever girl got the gun.
Okay,
That's
so,
all of them.
I've actually
Every
got a
girl has a
toss up
gun.
because like Revy is a primo waifu, and like just goes without saying why we love Revy. Like her speeches, like her demeanor, her like cold stares, like you said, her English and the Japanese voice, and then her speeches and the dub, and just like her. I just love the way she talks to Rock. She's like, "You fucking idiot!" Like she's like,
There was
"I don't
a
have
lot of
time for your
swearing.
bullshit."
I
Like,
was
just-
not expecting so much. Like I expected a little bit. I didn't expect this much. I was like,
Now,
damn.
my
this is
God.
TVM, bro.
Hey.
Like, this is like
They go-
shout out to the no nudity though. That's what still blows my mind. We got all this with
No,
no nudity.
No, not
Uh-uh.
true.
Watch the dub. Or watch the sub, my guy.
No,
We
it's in
go-
the dub.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It's there.
Watch
I
the
forgot.
right dub.
There's
I forgot who is the.
We go to the pink house and we see some
Yep.
teddies.
Oh yeah.
Because
But that's like brief though. It's not as like.
It's not
prominent
brief.
As
They
it
didn't.
will.
I don't think they wanted to like go all out with that. I mean,
But
we even heard stuff.
more than Akira gave us.
to your point, no, it's not. It was right on the border of the same amount Akira gave us, and Akira was kind of fucked up with the whole thing.
Yeah.
Anyways, I appreciate the attempt at fan service. I think that's where I would put this, right?
Yes.
They tried to do fan service with Revy, but it wasn't to the extent that we see currently.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't unreasonable.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I would call it fan service, just because the way the character like wears that style, I'm imagining her as a real person. I believe this would be her style.
And that's kind of why it works.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's very much this like Laura Croft just said, fuck it, I don't care anymore.
And like I'm here for it because, like you said, it is practical, and we do see her in different fits. Like when it's cold time, she's still not out here, like just rocking it. So it is like a
That
vibe.
I would give as pure fan service.
Yeah.
Hey, the
And,
Yakuza in a skirt. My God.
but like I said, like it's like Revi's like primo waifu for me. Like just absolute love the character, but I also really love Rock's character. But like Ballylanka Roberta might be my favorite
You're
character.
changing her name, Bella Lyca, man.
Ballylanka, I
You
don't know,
said
man.
Belly
I'm sorry, I'm
Lanka.
tired.
It's like going to Sri Lanka?
Ballylanka or
The
Roberta
amazing chocolate there.
might be like one of my favorite characters because like
God damn it,
Ballylanka
Kelz.
is just like she's like a whole ass boss, bruh. Like she's like
Literally.
lioness vibes from the whole get go. Like she's got her shit together, and
You're
when
just
she's
saying
like,
that because of that mane of hair.
no, not only that, but like when she's
The
like getting
battle
her,
scars?
yes, and like when she's getting her get back from her two comrades with the vampires, and she's like talking to a little kid, like that scene, bruh. Oh god, when she's like just sitting there,
She said Neil.
and she's like,
Bang.
she's like, you're probably gonna die in 10 minutes. I'm just gonna sit here and like watch you, and
Holy shit.
like when
That
she
was-
just like how she just like put on for the rest of her comrades. Like I really like
And then
respect the fuck out of her.
and then the call in because the Lagoon Company was like picking up the other vampire and
Mhm.
like doing a drop off, and the fucking Balalaka was like, kill him on sight. So they deliver the package, they get on the dock, and then the old man shoots her in the fucking head.
Mhm.
Holy shit! Yeah, no, Balalika. This is the way you set up Balalika to be a scary motherfucker.
Mhm.
Yes, and like
I
fuck with her heart.
Honestly, just what I
That
was
way
like,
she has to do nothing when she like gets pissed off. Just one little slam on the hood of a car. Oh, he
Yeah,
gonna
it's like-
die.
oh no, yeah, it's like, oh no, she's mad. No, and I wonder where, it's unfortunate that we never got to see the animated conclusion of everything. I actually wonder what would have been the final arc, or the final story. But
It might happen because chapters are still coming out, like very, very
Really?
fucking rarely. Like,
Fuck
but
is
they're
this
still,
Berserk?
You got that Hunter x Hunter schedule.
yeah. I mean, listen, I'm
like,
I'm
I don't know.
finish.
I feel like
But
it definitely was a setup for like a final villain or something, like a super bad guy. Like she's gonna she might start World War III. Honestly,
Good. I'm gonna be honest though. I don't want any more animated. I really rather leave it with where it is. With where it is, I could rewatch this many
Sacrilege.
times over.
Um,
If you adding more to it always and doing any more with it, it could take some turns that I'm just like, and that took me out of it. I don't care anymore.
I
I
will
don't
tell
wanna be
you,
a part of this.
from
Or I'm just
what-
here for hot babe shooting guns.
So you're not getting the point of Black Lagoon, man. That's not what it's
I'm
about. But
That's not, motherfucker, did you hear what I was saying?
That's 1/3 of the point.
but like it's like someone who's like kind of progressed a little bit further into the manga, it does get better. I will say, like it does, like the story does continue, and we get to see more of that, like kind of like existence between Rock and Revy, and their ideas challenge each other. I really want to see where that progresses to, like who's gonna like fold into like whose world. And I do literally love the stuff that Belly is doing, but like also Dutch is just like such a strong character for me. Like I have such a hard time picking like just one
want a-
character.
I want a boss like Dutch.
Yes,
Like just
but you won't get
fucking-
that here.
I don't know, man. My current boss ain't that bad, but to have a boss like Dutch, man, like Lord.
Yeah, like Dutch is just straight up like just he's like good at filling out people's feelings. He's a good mediator. He's like basically saved Black Lagoon from his relationships with Bellalaika, and when Bellalaika owes you something, you can only wonder what that person has done. Because I'm like, what has Dutch done to have favors from like the freaking House of Lord
Motel Moscow.
Motel Moscow, so but like Roberta though, like the absolute dog, Roberta, bruh. Roberta's blood trail is like just the fact that she had literally every like special ops in the world come after her, like, and just like she
for a good reason though. Like,
I mean, like she got her get back. Like, what you want? Like, it wasn't like they started it, She was just defending herself.
I mean,
you're right, but
except everything she did before she was Roberta, like she didn't get her get back because she caused a lot of the fucking problems.
Yeah.
However,
that was following her orders, I know, which is never the right thing to do.
No, she wanted to be a revolutionary. And when she found out that wasn't what she turned out to be, she left. But equally, she pulled the trigger. She made the decision to, like, I don't know, believe in the revolution.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
cheap out the propaganda.
Which set us up for a 5-episode OVA of bomb shit I haven't watched.
Yeah, those are 5 episodes. You definitely need to, like, Roberta's blood trail is like.
No, I need to watch it. Like, I literally was like, oh crap, I didn't know about this. I ran out of time. Oh no.
Nah, she like literally like that's. And Roberta's just such a like. It's the maids you gotta watch out for, man. Like when she's got like that umbrella and she's like just letting it loose, and oh my god! But there's so much going on, especially like with the villains, because now the vampires too are just like.
Oh, the vampires, the fucked up Romanian kids, like
that was
what a
tragic,
weird,
but also like
weird, gross
it
way
was really
to
gross.
have some fucking.
I'll give you a surprise. You've been nice to me. You're like, no.
Like, and that's the entire point. That is the entire point of these kids. Like, they're not okay.
No. No,
one is.
No
one is okay in this show at all. Not a single character.
Kill
is
enough,
okay.
we'll live forever, right?
We just rack up fucking points. Now,
Like
you had mentioned Ida earlier, sister of the Church of Pain. Church of Pain? Is that what the fuck it's called? Church of Violence. That's what it is.
Ew. Fake church or something. I can't remember.
Who is also from Langley, Virginia. She's fucking CIA. That big reveal was kind of crazy.
That was like, what?
It is wild. Like, and the fact that her weapon is a Glock 17, like, just, like.
The weapons! The weapons.
So clean. I was like, yo, is Devil May Cry up in here? What's happening? Like, what are we?
Oh my gosh. And it's funny because, like, no, like, Ida is just, like, it's funny because, like, you know, oh, it's the church, it's a nun, they're sitting here helping. No, I mean, no, it's the arms dealings and just extortion and just, it's like no one's good, and I love it.
We
like,
went to the church, we got shot up.
Yeah, and the fact that she's like you know,
Tuesday.
on par with like freaking Revy in a nun outfit, it's just, it's the type of stuff that I live for, you know?
I don't fuck with her glasses. Not my vibe.
Yeah, no, those are very like,
but like,
yeah, it's the glasses are a no for me. I gotta give you that. Like,
but I give it like it fits the character, you know. This kind of
yeah, the designs are all cool. Yeah, every design primo, in my opinion. Like character
every
design,
weapon.
like
I learned so much about weapons watching this.
Good.
I love all the side characters. The bartender who has his fucking bar repeatedly blown up or burned down.
Now
or,
that's
you know.
some
Yeah.
My
Mary-
Cabbage's stuff
Yes.
right there.
That is straight up my cabbage.
And it's always like, Remy, you did this shit.
Wasn't me this time.
Yeah. Yeah, and then like you said, Shinjua, the Taiwanese assassin. We love
Yeah.
her. The
Fucking
cop.
the space cadet that drove them in that one episode where they go off to save fucking Rock.
Yeah. And
Or
we
the,
got like Bai Ching, the like cop who's like or boss of their base in Thailand. Basically the like cop dude who's just trying to figure out what's going on and probably has the hardest job on the face of the planet. The pimp. The strip
Pimp was
club
funny.
owner.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Rowan Pigeon.
What's I love the one episode where the printing press, the money printing girl, can't remember her name, but like she's running away, and then all of a sudden we get introduced to like these two random mercenaries. The one they're like, "Are you both drinking milk?" And it's like,
Rob,
I'm allergic.
the wizard, and the other dude.
Yeah, it's like, I'm allergic to milk. And then the other guy's like, it's against my religion. I was like, what religion are you? Why are you here? You think he was Mormon?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who knows,
Mormon.
man?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought that was funny.
And
I think it's blown up.
yeah, shout out to Yolanda too, like the leader of the Church of Violence, who's just like this. There's so many good characters in Black Lagoon, and like there's so many fun characters that are just like this is like an anime that you can just watch and feel good and not have to be like, oh, I'm going to offend somebody or something. It's like this is the gritty. Like I would show this to someone who's like, I want to be edgy, but like substance, like
Very
substance
specific
edgy.
taste
yeah,
that person would have.
It's very okay. It's violent, but in an action sort of way.
oh yeah.
Mhm.
There's not a lot of blood. There's not a okay. There's a fair
Well-
amount of blood. There's not a lot of gore.
Yeah, but
There's not a
It's
lot
not-
of gore. It's not
Yeah.
very obscene.
Yeah, it's
I'm
no
gonna be
like
honest.
it's really the
I
language.
don't
honestly.
understand calling this edgy.
I mean,
There-
like
I don't. It's mature. I'll give you that, but
I
I,
mean-
don't understand edgy.
there's
edgy
okay,
in the
so
sense
like
of like the dialogue, like you know,
Yeah.
The
like
dialogue and some of the thematic references.
yeah,
Definitely
The
talking about
dress,
Nazis.
the
Talking
cultures,
about fucking Charles Manson.
drugs, like the fucking
drugs.
like yeah, like
For
just
2006, we're pushing
Yeah.
the boundaries.
and this was on broadcast television. You gotta keep in mind, this was like that. This was that clear
It was on
Toonami had
broadcast
started.
television at midnight.
Yeah, but like this was, I still watched it. I was
That's
6.
when they put that shit on there all the time.
I'm just saying, I was a 12-year-old out here, like you know,
that
gang,
explains a
gang.
few things, honestly.
about me.
Yes.
Okay, like what? Like what? What did it explain?
Like
Was this
Frederica
was this
Sawyer
your
is the
original
best
waifu?
Girl.
Frederica
Sorry, that
is
was two
pretty-
questions. That was-
I love the whole Saw vibe with the vocoder.
oh yeah, that was like,
The moment she drops it, it's game over for her being a supervillain.
Mhm.
But like the look, my vibe, you know,
Yeah.
literally my vibe. Anyway,
I'm a smoker.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you said so. Frederica is what now?
So nothing.
listen
Anyway.
back to the
Frederica.
podcast here at Content Break.
Yeah. But yeah.
Rounding out our characters. Any other people that scream characters are great, or do we need to move on?
I mean, I love all the characters. I think each character brings something new. Definitely, I feel like a very strong female-driven cast. Also, but it's not, the men are not put in the back seat for the women to be at the forefront. I feel like it's just we got a
Equal.
bunch of badass characters. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Bunch
and
of
I'm here
badass
for that.
characters.
Yeah. This was 2000s magic, man. Like this is something that I don't feel like, you know, would be as big as it came out today. I feel like, or if it had came out like earlier, I feel like it was in a perfect spot because it's like it was like needed then. Super gritty, like I said. I feel like it had a great amount of violence, like you said, not too gore, not too like bloody, just like to get the point across. To like be like, yo, you are watching this at like this is no longer Cartoon Network. You're in Toonami. Dragon Ball Z Uncut has come on. They've said the word shit. Like we can cuss. Like you're in the zone right now. So like
I also love that this is right on the cusp of where anime goes 16:9.
yes.
Because I'm thinking back to a show that looks like this, but is in 4:3, and Eureka 7 comes to mind. But that's in April of 2005, and it runs an entire year to April 2006. And when we get to Black Clover, what the fuck? Black Lagoon. We're coming out in April of 2006 for the first 12 episodes. And it's like, we have made that transition in broadcast television. We have committed to 16:9. And that was a joy to watch for me.
Yes. It was a fun time. So I agree. Like it's cool that we're on a different aspect ratio. It's cool that we're in like a different vibe. I definitely feel like this is like something that everybody should watch. It's for sure one of my favorites. Like it's like Black Lagoon is up there just because of like the pure waifus it pumps out for me. Like the pure amount of like violence, the themes, the darkness, just the overall humor. Like the representation is on point as well. Like I still think like Dutch and Benny are two of the coolest main side characters ever. Shout out to Rock as well for just being super solid without compromising. Like it's like he gives me like he's like a Subaru that I like. That's what it is. That's what I was trying to get at. It's like I feel like Subaru. Like this is what they tried to do with Subaru from ReZero.
Yeah, but they spent
like
too much
it
time
actually
with
worked.
Being an asshole.
Yeah, like this is the vibe that I get. Like the Rock is definitely that handled the correct way.
Now, the number one most important question of Black Lagoon: did they smash?
So that's like why I keep reading the story. Like I feel like there's love there, like there's a connection. Cause she brought him back home, which I thought that was wild in general. Like when he came back at the end, and let's say he's home just to be like, "Yo, I'm never coming back." And like you got Revy out here shooting guns at little kids. So I'm just like, okay. And there's the iconic like cigarette kiss, which is like a lot of people consider in the top like anime non-kisses but kisses type thing. I don't know. I feel like there's feelings there for sure. Still waiting to see if they smash. Canonically, I think they smashed. Like,
because we in the show where
Yeah.
Revy and Eater are in the church just drinking, hanging out, and it's like Revy's like, I don't want to talk about it. So the question is, did they smash?
I think so. What do y'all think?
In my heart, I hope.
It's quite possible, but
In my heart of hearts, I hope they smashed harder than like fucking Hulk Hogan.
What?
Wrong Hulk. But yes, the green one. I hope they smashed. But yeah, any other opinions about Black Lagoon? Thoughts and things? Recommendations to anybody?
I mean, yeah, recommend it. Again, funnier than I thought it would be. I was laughing the whole time. I was quite surprised. Not the whole time, but you know what I mean. More than I thought I would. I liked it. It was very, very nice. It gave me Cowboy Bebop vibes and like, that kind of like episode structure, like the storytelling, where it's not like, yeah, we're gonna have like the starting plot, and then a bunch of misadventures along the way. It's just like kind of like, well, here we start, and then it's like just telling that it's not like an overall story like a lot of the anime does. It does do kind of like Monster of the Week, but not really. It's like there's a point to it. Like there's a point to each episode. It was kind of a refreshing way. It was a refreshing way to tell the story for me. So,
Cool.
I
Well,
feel like
I love it. Yeah.
I feel like the plot got incrementally more involved as
Yeah.
the episode count went longer. Like the arcs got more intense. The time, like the episode count spent on one story, grew. By the time we get to episode 24, like 3/4 of the second season was spent just on the Yakuza arc, with all the ups and downs that came with it. But up until that point, we hadn't spent that much time on a single story.
Mm-hmm.
I think it fit. I really enjoyed it overall. I don't feel like the ending was particularly strong.
Yeah, I feel like that's because it wasn't supposed to be the ending. Like, I feel like there was.
Sure. And that's kind of, I guess, a great point. The ending fit. It was thematically integrated, with Rock trying to be a hero and realizing where he kind of stands in the universe, and seeing the bitter end of what comes when you don't commit to something or can't change something or this, that, and the other. I think it's a fine ending, but it doesn't feel resolved, especially with what little time we have to kind of cap things off. There's very little resolution. It's like the end of an arc, and then we're just going to put a cork in it, and then we'll see you in 15 years, maybe.
Yeah. So.
Oh, I enjoyed it. Great show. I'm left wanting more, but that's from having, binge watched it all.
yeah.
No, facts. I mean, as not binge watching, I agree. Like, definitely want more. Need more. Like, stranger things have happened. Like, we've gotten freaking Devil's Part-Timer Season 2, so I'm holding out, man. This and Noragami.
I'm about to say, Noragami and Black Clover coming in
Please.
2023.
Yes,
Please.
let's go, please. Let's go.
Zatch
Speak
Bell
it in
again.
the
Let's go.
universe.
Mm-hmm. Dog.
It's good shit. I feel like the fact that it's taken such a realistic tone to things, the ending's actually better than it's given credit for, because shit just doesn't wrap up cleanly majority of the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's just how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
What happens, what happened. You did what you did. Either do it different the next time shit happens, or walk through the same shit.
And that's what I love so much about Black Lagoon. It's just like the whole essence of the show is who cares? Like, just fucking do it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
life goes on. Which,
Yeah. That being said, I don't need answers. I don't need any of the rest of that shit. I am fine where it is. I am a little nervous that if I were to get more of it, it would start taking away from what's there. So, or in what I enjoy of it. So,
you let Revy shoot you?
would I let Revy shoot me?
Yes.
Depends on the cost benefit.
What's the
analysis.
context of her shooting me? She just
One
breaking in my
shot.
house?
You can. We'll talk about it off camera.
Oh
you
my
know, like
goodness.
so.
Only if anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll talk about it off camera. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, no, that was Black Lagoon. Definitely go and watch it, please. It's so great. We'll probably do something else about it somewhere along the line when life aligns. Do you dream? Anyway, so yeah.
This has been Content Breaker. We've been talking about Black Lagoon here on Content Breaker.
Is that
You can
what it
catch-
was?
I better have been, man. This
True.
is Black Clover. Asta is fucking yelling still. You can catch all of our stuff here on Content Breaker. On all your podcatchers, talking Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Podcast, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube as well. At Content Breaker, gentlemen, y'all have stuff too.
Yes, you can find me at Static Dreads with a Z on Twitter, where I talk about anime and recently just the one of an iPhone. It's really what I've been on all day. And just, seeing where things go. And make sure you check out our website at contentbreaker.com.
You can find me Strangely Ant on Twitter. Look for Strangely Entertaining on YouTube and Twitch. That's where I'll be at. And on Twitch, I do stream or try to stream 9 p.m. Central Time on Tuesdays, and then some random times when I feel like it.
And of course, the other product at Your Typical Shonen Protagonist, where we talk about anime bullshit just like this, except not like this because we booked it on the wrong show this week. Anyways, we have more stuff booked for Content Breaker. So, what do we have coming up next week?
We're going back to Fate and talking about the first branch in the series that seems like it will never end.
Another early 2000s anime from
Wow.
Studio D.
I've never seen it before. Won't this
It's
be interesting?
Fate Stay Night. The Studio
Stay.
D version.
Night
People die when they're killed. Yeah.
Fate.
So, can't
Catch
wait.
y'all next week.